everyone in Taos County. My name is Stacy Matlock. I'm the editor of the Taos News. And we're here today to discuss some of the plans for the coming academic year in the age of COVID. I'm going to remove my mask now, which even our governor does when she's talking, so you can hear me more easily. First, I want to thank Kit Carson Electric Cooperative for the use of their boardroom and their electronics to help us bring you this live stream. With me today, again, our second week, is Lillian Torrez, Dr. Lillian Torrez, Superintendent of Taos Municipal Schools, and Anita Bringas,
Strategic Support Manager.
Yes, I'm going to get this right by the third week. Strategic Support Manager at UNM-Taos. And they brought some guests also, some teachers and student support services expert who will talk about and show you, give you a demonstration of some of what they'll be doing to help students and parents with online instruction for the first few weeks of school. So I'm going to let Dr. Lillian Torrez go first with her introduction, and then Anita Bringas, and then they will introduce their guests.
Okay, thank you, Stacy. Thank you to all our community for continuing to support us. We're really working diligently to make sure that we have an exceptional remote model. Of course, I had mentioned we're using the Canvas platform. So I brought some teachers that will give you some exciting news and details. But first I want to highlight every Thursday that we have our town hall. I really want to highlight some things that we're doing in our district. Let me show you, this is for pre-K, and it has enough materials and things for the whole semester with the teddy bear counters. So every pre-K student is going to receive this. They're also going to receive an iPad, and we're also going to make sure that they have internet connection. So it's an amazing program that we have ready for pre-K. And then on the 17th of August, we're going to do the drive-by pickups for parents with the materials and their devices. Meanwhile, we're working on getting their internet connected. So at this time, I'll give it over to Anita to do her presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Torres, and again, thank you to Kit Carson Electrical Cooperative for maintaining their COVID-safe practices to allow us to be here today. Thank you to the Taos News, who, upon receiving this grant to do something for the community, identified education as an important topic to focus on. So thank you to the Taos News and Stacy for having us here today. Dr. Torres, always a pleasure. And to our viewers, thank you all for joining us. If you find this information useful today, I would encourage you to invite your friends and families and neighbors and colleagues to tune in each week, same time, Thursdays at 2 o'clock until the end of the month. So a couple updates from UNM-Taos. We continue to work on and fine-tune our campus reopening plan for the fall semester, working closely with the Higher Education Department and UNM main campus. We are very close to having the final document completed, and the Higher Education Department has their statewide plan very close to the final form as well. As soon as those are available, we'll certainly be sharing those with our campus community as well as the community at large. It's hard to believe it's already the first week of August, and we have our classes in the fall semester starting on Monday, August 17th. There still is time to register, so I encourage you, whether you're looking to continue your certificate or degree plan or start it for the first time, perhaps you're interested in looking to change a career path, reskill or upskill, I encourage you to call 737-6215 or visit taos.unm.edu. We do have an earlier deadline for all of our local area high school students. We have a very robust dual enrollment and dual credit program, where while you're enrolled in high school, you can take college level courses and receive credit for both towards your high school and your college degree. And over the last several years, we've been able to graduate students by the time they are graduating high school are also graduating with their 2-year associate degree. So currently we have partnerships with Cyber Magnet, Dulce, Escalante, Española Valley, Mesa Vista, New Mexico Connections Academy, Cuesta, Peñasco, Moreno Valley, Taos Academy, Vista Grande, homeschoolers, and of course a very strong partnership with Dr. Torrez and Taos High School. So if you're interested in that, I encourage you to reach out to Patricia Martinez, our dual credit program specialist at NAMTZ@UNM.edu. And lastly, I want to recognize our career technical education program. We have a very strong program that does workforce training and education in a variety of different fields. Now, when we made the decision to close our campus facilities back in March 19th, there were several courses that we just could not transition to a remote or online platform. We just could not figure out for the life of us how to drive a semi on Zoom. So the commercial driver's license training, culinary arts, woodworking, some construction tech, those sorts of classes. It's difficult to do those online. So there were several courses that the students were not able to finish out their spring semester. So thanks to the support from the Office of Academic Affairs and the chair for the Career and Technical Education Program, Patricia Gonzalez, they were able to hold some recovery courses for CDL and a couple of other courses in the last several weeks, which allowed those students that couldn't finish out the spring semester to do so now. What that also did was allowed us to be able to practice some of the screenings and COVID-safe practices and spacing in classrooms and whatnot, so we can be very well prepared for when we offer those courses face-to-face in the fall. So the UNM-Taos is still here full force. We're really ready and looking forward to welcoming our students back to the fall semester. So I'll pause there, and I look forward to welcoming our Director of Student Affairs, Ms. Patricia Gonzalez, who will be sharing more information in a little bit later in the programming. Thank you.
So let's move on to our remote model. As a matter of fact, Anita, I wanted to let you know we have the most number of registered enrolled students for dual credit.
Excellent.
Ever. So I was really excited about that. Before we begin the program, I wanted to make sure and remind parents, if you haven't if the school hasn't contacted you or you haven't talked to your school, it's really important for you to call as soon as possible. We need to get your devices out. We need to work with you on internet connection. We have almost all of them out, but there are some parents that we've tried to reach and can't get a hold of, and it's really important, parents, for you to call us as soon as possible. Okay, let's begin talking about our Canvas platform. We do have the Public Education Department that has asked our group of teachers to think about whether they would be willing to train the rest of New Mexico. So this is an exceptional program, and I'm so proud of our teachers. The first presenter is Carla Chavez. She's one of our instructional coaches, has been here for many years, attended Taos High School, and she's going to give us a little bit of information, and then we'll move on to the next teacher.
Thank you, Dr. Torrez, and thank you everybody for joining us today. It's a pleasure to share with you the work that we've done over the summer in preparing for an unprecedented start to the school year. I believe teachers are anxious, but also excited to see how things will come about for this new online learning adventure we're all traveling on. A few things that I did want to share with the community, just so that parents and students have a little bit more information about what to expect when they come back to the school year, is what the work that we've done with teachers over the summer to actually prepare for the online setting. We've spent a lot of time preparing trainings for our teachers, and this was really based on a lot of the feedback that we received both from teachers, students, and parents at the end of last school year. So we really wanted to make an effort to address a lot of those concerns and really improve the online instruction platform. The district right now is using Canvas, and Canvas provides a variety of different tools. Our first goal was to train the teachers in the tools, and so we developed a series of 4 trainings for our teachers. And the first was actually just, what are the tools in Canvas? What are the things that you can do? How do you engage with your students? Addressing one of the major concerns from everybody who was online last year was student engagement. So we spent a whole training on trying to look at different methods, different activities, different ways to engage students in the online classroom that weren't just the traditional conferencing and let me post some work for you online. So this really focused on using discussions, a lot of video and audio feedback from teachers, but also enabling that for our students so that they can engage in the classroom in a different way. In order to make sure that we're meeting our educational goals and learning objectives, we definitely wanted to address feedback and assessment and how do teachers accurately determine if our students are meeting their learning targets and working towards mastery of standards. And so we definitely took a look at what are the assignments that teachers will be posting. We looked at how can we make sure that all of that work is tied to the standards, and then how as a teacher and as a student we can engage in a conversation about their status on that learning profile, how close are they to mastery. So teachers have received a lot of information about just how to use Canvas, but we also felt it was extremely important to make sure that we were addressing the needs of our students who were at risk, who were underserved, and so we wanted to make sure that we talked about accommodations. And so the last part of the training was really focused on how do we implement best practices for our students who need the additional support. Whether identified or unidentified, we needed to make sure that we were doing our best to really engage those students, really support them, and also provide that support for our parents. So over the month of July, we've been training the majority of our teachers in the district and really teaching them from the perspective of a student how to navigate Canvas so that they as teachers can troubleshoot and support their students when they're interacting with a course. So we really focused on an asynchronous or an online platform. How do we engage our students and work towards mastery of our standards? Thank you, Dr.
Okay, thank you very much, Carla. Next we have Greg, so he's coming over now. Oh, he's coming over. I wanted to mention that we also have this year a new parent engagement coordinator who will be working to train parents, working on Zoom, and will be stationed at Ranches Elementary. So we're very fortunate to be able to have that. Now I have Greg Rael, Taos High School math teacher, who has been very instrumental and has become an expert in this Canvas platform because he's worked morning, noon, and night at it for the last 4 months, since mid-May. Greg?
Thank you, Dr. Torrez, and thank you, community members, for viewing. One of the things that I wanted to address, and with the support of our entire Canvas district team, is we focused on how do we prepare our teachers using data-driven information that we got from last spring. And one of the things that was focused on was the ability to make sure our parents and our students, who are the real stakeholders in our public education system, how do we provide them the opportunity to navigate through their education, and how do we give them the opportunity to make sure that each student has equitable access to our content, to our information, and to be set up for success. And so what we did is we worked on establishing a lot of norms and expectations that our students, that our parents are gonna be required to meet for you, the parents, and for you, the students. And so when teachers are posting their announcements, are the student learning objectives clearly stated? Are links to all curriculum, all content, all supports, and assignments clearly laid out for the students to navigate through this program with ease and fear, and with no fear of missing out on any content or any information. One of the things that was really vital for us was that each student has that equitable access to all clear content, all information. And with that, we were able to provide a lot more supports and accommodations for our students. Within Canvas, we brought on a couple of other applications and features that allow our students to have a multimedia platform to submit assignments for our students that are auditory and visionary learners. We have an annotation piece and a response program that allows our students to annotate any worksheet online or on a computer Along with that, an immersive reader and a number of different immersive reader programs that can translate any content that a teacher publishes into one of 84 languages. And this is predominantly to help our ELL students and our parents who are navigating and expected to navigate these programs at home. And so the big idea was to really make sure that our students and our parents have as much ease and as much support throughout the system as possible. And one of the easiest ways to really summarize this is within our Canvas platform and the way we're going to be moving remotely is each student is going to be part of an asynchronous course, meaning that they'll have access to that course and all the information at any given time, not just within the times of the school day, but they'll have also 100% instructor support throughout the actual school day for any of the needs that they're going to encounter throughout their course, whether it be through content or technology or any of that or any of these social and emotional pieces that come along with us managing our students within a regular classroom. Thank you, Dr. Torrez.
Thank you, Greg. Now let's move over to the middle school. Andrea, if you want to come this way and have a seat. This is Andrea Martinez, Taos Middle School math teacher, who will give a little bit of details about the Canvas platform at middle school.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andrea Martinez, and I was a participant in the Canvas trainings this summer, and it was just really beneficial for me and for everyone else that took part in the online classes. So prior to this summer and this spring, I kind of was familiar with Canvas already. So, you know, on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being not knowing anything to 10 being a pro, I felt like I was maybe like a 3. And, you know, I just knew the basics. And after taking these courses, which let me tell you was a lot of work, and I still have a lot of work to do, I feel like I'm like at 6.5, maybe 7. I'm still not a pro, but I do feel like I can engage students interactively. It'll be a lot more meaningful versus, you know, what happened in the springtime. So I definitely feel a lot more confident as a teacher teaching online. I also feel confident sharing what I learned with my peers and my math team. So I just want to say thank you to the Canvas team for working around the clock, because that's really what they have been doing. And I know that because I keep getting notifications, you know, that my assignment was posted. And I don't know how many times I've had to text and call Mr. Rael, you know, and within minutes, he got back to me. So I just appreciate everything that the Canvas team, that they've done, because they have been working, you know, in the shadows, and it's for the district. So thank you to the Canvas team, and I feel confident, you know, in myself for this coming school year, and just sharing what I've learned with the rest of my team. So I'm excited to get back, and but we still have a lot to learn. And I just ask all of you out there to be flexible with the teachers right now, because we're still learning as well, and just be flexible with us as well. So thank you for having me here.
Thank you, Andrea. Andrea is also one of our exceptional Teach-to-One teachers.
Yes,
she really is excellent at that. So thank you, Andrea. So we got one more teacher, Christine Gonzalez. Come and have a seat, Christine. Christine is a 3rd grade teacher at Venus Elementary. And I'm happy to say we're at 93% of our teachers at the elementary level have had the Canvas courses. So go ahead, Christine.
I'm one of those that I was computer illiterate. When it closed down in the spring, I was fortunate enough and blessed enough to have a boy in my class, and his mom was one of our coaches for the campus. So she started right away. You know, he saw them. I guess they were having a meeting. They were conferencing, And he saw that and said, do you think Mrs. Gonzalez will do that? So she asked me, Margot asked me, and I said, he's missing you. And I said, sure. So from there I've been working like, I'm sold on that. There's, the coaches are awesome. You have one little problem. You could, no matter what time it is, you text them, call them, email them, and they're right there. This was the best training I've gotten. I'm ready to go. I've made 5 home pages with everything in there. I'm so excited. I know how to, I'm gonna split up my groups already, and I'm just ready for my sped teachers to come on in, my EAs if I have any. I'm ready. So I'm excited. I'm excited to start. And my first 2-3 weeks are just gonna be helping my students and parents to navigate the system. I already know how I'm gonna do that. Like I said, I've been working since March on this with Margot. Any of them, but Margot was the best one of all. The parent, that parent really helped. She really got up and did everything for the classroom. It was awesome. But I'm ready to go.
Well, thank you so much, Christine, for coming today and giving us your perspective. We really appreciate it. Thank you
And
so
don't
much.
fear it. Don't fear it.
Don't fear it. So we can move on to the Anita's report from UNM-Taos and our presenter. And I hope that we do have some question-answer period, I think, at the end. But for right now, if you have any questions, please ask and save them, and we'll move forward with UNM-Taos.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Dr. Torrez. Before I introduce our speaker, that's our guest speaker that's with us today, I do want to commend Dr. Torrez for all of your work and your staff and faculty in the Canvas program to make sure your teachers are trained on it, and how just the support that you're providing to students and their families to navigate this remote instruction time. So thank you so much and congratulations. I think the fact that the state has reached out to you to do a statewide training on Canvas really speaks a lot to the quality of the program and the quality of your teachers. So thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
So now it's my great honor and pleasure to introduce to you and welcome to our forum today the UNM-Taos Director of Student Affairs, Patricia Gonzalez. Patricia serves as a registrar for UNM-Taos, and as such she oversees many different very critical areas to support our students. Everything from the admissions process and application to financial aid and the many scholarships that are available to students. She also oversees, she and her team, the new student orientation, which she'll be speaking a bit about today. She handles our graduation petitions to make sure all of you that have gone through the process do get your official certificate and degrees. And her area also oversees the Office of Veteran Services and this Veteran Supports. I'm sure there's many other hats that she wears, as many of us do on campus. Another interesting thing I'd like to share about Patricia is that she's one of the many examples on UNM-Taos of how it's possible to kind of work yourself up through the ranks. Patricia started on campus as, I believe, a work study or student employee, and as she continued her own academic career and education, she also continued to gain additional responsibilities and positions on campus. She now serves as the Director of Student Affairs as part of our administrative leadership team and one of the direct reports to our Chancellor, Dr. Valdez. As a student, her and her team supported me through my journey, and I'm really honored to be able to call her a peer and a colleague and a friend, as she certainly has been a mentor to me as well. So without further ado, I'd like to turn the floor over to Patricia Gonzalez, our Director of Student Affairs.
Thank you, Anita. Again, my name is Patricia Gonzalez. As Anita mentioned, I have been with the institution. This is actually, I've been there 25 years, 2 years as a work study, and then 23 as a regular employee. I'd like to call myself a UNM-Taos success story as well, because I was able to, I graduated from high school, I went to Albuquerque for a year. did not like the big city. I came home. I was very fortunate that UNM-Taos had opened the year after I graduated, and so it was open and gave me the opportunity to come back and go to school. Through UNM-Taos, I've been able to complete my certificates, my associates, work with upper division and get my bachelor's and even my master's degree from living in Taos and working in Taos. So I'm very fortunate to have been able to do that, and I always encourage students to continue their education because it is possible even from Taos. As Anita mentioned, I have many areas that report to me, including admissions, financial aid, registration, recruitment, and we are very fortunate that through these times we have still been able to have all of our processes work from a remote platform. We are still speaking with students via telephone or via Zoom. We've been able to admit students online. We've been able to assist them with financial aid and doing FAFSAs remotely as well. So we're very fortunate that in these trying times we have still been able to provide all of the services that our department provides in person. And so I would like to encourage students who are thinking about taking classes to seek us out. We have, all my staff is available to assist you. We have many ways in which you can do that. They have office hours that are posted on our website at taos.unm.edu. We also have a specific email address for our admissions staff, which is unm-taos-admissions@unm.edu, and a specific email address for our financial aid staff, which is finaid@taos.unm.edu. Our staff is available to assist students in getting the process started, in getting admitted, in getting transcripts, and getting registered. It's not too late. Classes do start August 17th, and we're still assisting students in getting through that process. And so we'd like to encourage anybody who's interested in taking classes to reach out to us, and we can help them get registered. Through this process, we've also had our first ever virtual open house, which is actually taking place for 2 weeks. It started on Monday. And so any student that comes in will have an opportunity to participate in the virtual new student orientation. Sorry, we had an open house also. But the new student orientation will assist students in navigating our learning management system, so the Blackboard Learn, which is what students will utilize as they're doing their online learning. So a lot of great things happening for our campus, just at a remote platform, but we're still here and we're able to serve anybody in whatever they need to get registered. So if anybody's interested, our main line is still being answered as well, and that is 737-6215. Sorry, I'm giving my personal number, but my phone number is also forwarded to me at home, which is 737-6212. So if anybody has questions, they can reach out to us and we can help them get started in enrolling for the fall semester.
Excellent, Patricia. Thank you so much. So one of the things that the community may not be aware of is that UNM-Taos have been referred to by Representative Gonzalez as the, how does he word it?
The golden apple?
The golden apple of New Mexico. And we truly have, I think, a gem in our own backyard. And of course, there's many benefits to attending UNM-Taos. One of them is that we have one of the lowest tuitions for higher education in the state at $78 a credit hour. And most classes are 3 credit hours. However, even with that, the financial piece of it can be challenging to students when they're also looking at rent and childcare and everything else that we have to manage. So Patricia, I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the financial aid process that's available to students, as well as I understand from one of your newest financial aid advisors, Jessica, that you're about to launch the scholarships for fall 2020. So if you could speak to that a little bit.
Sure. So the financial aid process starts with the FAFSA application. As I mentioned, I have staff available right now to be able to assist students with doing that process remotely as well. And so just contacting our financial aid office, we can get somebody to assist you with that. We also have our scholarship page, and that can be accessed off of our UNM-Taos website at taos.unm.edu. And we have all of the scholarships that are available for the fall 2020 semester listed on there. Those went live this last Monday, so they're available for students to look at. And I encourage them to take a peek and to apply for any that they feel that they qualify for.
Excellent, thank you, Patricia. So those students that have just recently graduated high school and may be eligible for the bridge or the lottery scholarship, between that and other Pell or other financial aid scholarships available, you could be looking at your first year at UNM-Taos without any out-of-pocket expenses. So definitely encourage you to reach out to Patricia. She and her team are extremely helpful. They'll guide you along every path of the way, from the admissions and application process to what do you do with financial aid, what is a FAFSA, how do you apply, and all of those things. So I encourage you to reach out. Again, that number is 737-6215, or you can visit our website at taos.unm.edu. So in closing, a couple announcements on behalf of UNM-Taos. First, I hope you all by now have picked up your copy of the Taos News Back to School Guide, which came out last Thursday. Dr. Torrez and I are very happy to have a lot of information in here for students and families on the K-12 system, on UNM-Taos, and there's also some very relevant information on early childhood education and care, and the resources that are available for families for that. I do want to point out, on page 72, where we speak about our math and sciences department, and make reference to our math and science chair, Dr. Colin Nichols. We did have a typo in his email address, so his actual email address is colinc@unm.edu, so please make note of that. And please do pick up this guide. This will be a reference guide for you all to use throughout the year. Secondly, due to some interest that has been expressed to us across the community about education and the pandemic in general, not just COVID-19, but the historic pandemics that we have faced, including influenza, HIV/AIDS, and of course now COVID-19. One of our research scholars and our resident virologist, Dr. Mari Hewlett, is offering a course specifically on pandemics, and we'll be touching on those three primary ones that we faced throughout history and we're facing now. So this course is open to the community, so if you have an interest in finding more about the epidemiology about the virus and what exactly that means and how our bodies respond to it, reach out to Dr. Hewlett. He can be reached at MHEWLETT, that's mhewlett@unm.edu. Third, I want to remind you, I announced this last week, that the Taos Pueblo Education and Training Division, in partnership with various organizations and departments at the Pueblo and the community, is hosting a back-to-school event on Monday the 17th at the Taos Mountain Casino parking lot from 12 to 6, and they'll be passing out school supplies and information. UNM-Taos will be there as well, passing out information on our fall semester and some fun BOBO gear as well. And then lastly, I'll end with, this is probably one of the best pieces of news that we've received on campus, and I'm excited to share it with you all, is that we had applied for a very competitive federal grant as part of the TRIO program, which is several different ones. We just received word yesterday that we were awarded the Student Support Services grant. We have a current one that's sunsetting, and this will continue those services for another 5 years. So I want to congratulate and thank all of the staff and grant writers that help support that. And this will allow us to provide those student support services, peer mentoring, cultural outings, and all those wraparound supports that are really critical for our students. So on that, I will say thank you again, Stacy and Dr. Torrez, and to the community for joining us, and I will look forward to seeing you all next week. Stacy?
Thank you, Anita, very much. Dr. Torrez, would you like to say a last few words?
I just wanted to thank the community for the support that they're giving us, and we still continue to work diligently to get the last of our devices out for each child to take home. And our first day of school is next Thursday on August the 13th, so we still have a lot to do before then, and we're working very hard to make sure that we have every internet connection by that date. So we have a lot that we're working on morning, noon, and night, and so we really appreciate the flexibility that you're giving us, and the thank yous that you're giving our teachers, because they really are working on a lot right now, and they're being trained, and we just really need to honor our teachers as much as possible, as, you know, I really honor the excellent teachers. We have teachers that are the best in the nation, and so we're so fortunate to have the teachers that we do.
And I do have one question, and then one thing maybe we can talk about next week as well. So one viewer asked, how are pre-K special ed students going to be able to access Canvas?
We have a special program for pre-K. Our Canvas is kindergarten through 12th grade. So our pre-K is going to have their own special curriculum. This is the first time that the children are in school, in education, using their iPad to actually have classes. So there will be a special curriculum that the pre-K teachers will be reaching out to parents after they do their home visits. And so it really isn't Canvas, but is something very particular that the Deputy Secretary has provided for us. And so that is something that we'll move forward with.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Anita and Dr. Torrez, very much. Thank you, Kit Carson Electric, for allowing us to host these weekly education chats. And we hope all of you out there have enjoyed this and will join us again next Thursday at 2 p.m. On Facebook or at taosnews.com. And please share this widely. It'll be archived, and you can find it both on our website and the Taos News Facebook page. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. See you next
very
week.
much. See you next week.